welcome to government class. In today's government class, we'll be looking at constitutional developments in Nigeria, and we'll be focusing on the pre-independence constitution. So what is a constitution? A constitution is a body of rules and regulations that guide the conduct and the activities of individuals. But when we look at constitution in terms of a country, we are looking at the constitution in terms of a country shows separation of power. Okay, what power does this arm of government, can this arm of government legislate on? What power can they not legislate on? A constitution would show the limitations of the powers of a body or an arm of government. It will show separation of power. It will show the rules and activities that should guide the conduct of anybody in a position of authority, the conditions for the impeachment of a president, and all these other things. So a constitution is basically a body of rules and regulations that guide and conduct the activities of people within a country and the arms of government and every other institution that we have in a country. So to make it simpler, we could have a constitution in our homes too. We could have constitutions in our homes. So, for example, the eldest makes a constitution on how to go about the activities of today. Okay, everybody wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. We sweep the house. This person irons daddy's clothes. This person does everything in the house just to make sure that the activities in the house move on smoothly. And then later on, it's like that 5:30 is not working well for everybody to wake up, or the 5:30 we are waking up is not making us faster. So maybe we could wake up 5, and then it's like the constitution of the elder sister is abolished. It's like this constitution is not working well. Let's introduce a new constitution. And then the second born introduces a constitution, and this constitution says, okay, let everybody wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. And then probably in the constitution that the eldest sister made, she did not include herself in the works that she did not put her name under any work to do in the house. She's not performing any duties in the house in the morning. And so when the second born makes the constitution, she includes the eldest to sweep the house, for example. And then after some time, it's like the constitution of the second born is equally not working well. It's like, okay, things are not working well, the eldest is complaining, and probably the second born has victimized the the younger ones, and they're like, okay, this constitution equally should be abolished because it's not working well. And then finally mommy comes to the rescue, and then mommy makes a constitution that everybody is happy with and that works with everybody. Mommy says, okay, let everybody wake up by 5:20. I'll be giving you grace of 10 minutes to sleep, stretch, and do whatever you want to do. So everybody's up by 5:30. Mommy says, I'll be cooking, so there's no need for the other sister to cook. And then mommy divides the activities in such a way that everybody is happy and everything is going well. So this is basically like a preamble of what we are going to be looking at in class today. So we'll be looking at constitutional developments in Nigeria. So we'll be looking at different constitutions, starting from Clifford's constitution. So we'll be looking at the reasons why people rejected Clifford's constitution, the reason why Clifford's constitution failed, and we'll be looking at some of the achievements that Clifford's constitution was able to make. And then we'll move to Richard's, and then we'll look at the achievements, some of the problems, the weaknesses, the reasons why people were against the constitution, and then we'll move to Macpherson, and then we'll end it with LearnCity's constitution. I hope you stay with me through the series of this class, and I promise that you're going to enjoy it. So let's look at a brief introduction of constitutional developments in Nigeria. Before the Nigerian independence in October 1st, 1960, the country was subject to complete colonial rule, which started around 1898, 1899 by the British. The British government commenced their establishment of colonial administration in Nigeria by annexing Lagos as a colonial settlement in 1861. So Lagos was made the crown colony and major center where the British government formulated and directed their policies. So we can say Lagos is like the federal capital territory then, from where the seat of power was located, where the British themselves then formulated policies and directed their policies from Lagos. As a means of ensuring successful colonial administration in Nigeria, on May 1st, 1906, the British government merged the colony of Lagos with the Southern Protectorate, and it was now known as the Colony and Protectorate of Southern Nigeria. So before May 1st, 1906, we had there was a system of government in Nigeria whereby there is what we call the Crown Colony, and then we have the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate. So a Crown Colony is like an is a colony. A crown colony is a place that it was a place that the British, they governed with the aim of granting independence later on. While a protectorate is an establishment that is a territory that is governed with the aim of protecting and exploiting it. So in Nigeria, we had crown colonies and we had protectorates. So we had the Calabar Crown Colony and we also had the Lagos Crown Colony, and we had the Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate. So on May 1st, 1906, that was when the British government merged the colony of Lagos and the Southern Protectorate together to form what we now know, what was then known as the Colony and Protectorate of Southern Nigeria, and they made Lagos the headquarters. The amalgamation of January 1st, 1914 finally brought the Protectorate of Southern Nigeria and the Protectorate of Northern Nigeria together under the governorship of Sir Lord Frederick Lugard, who was the first Governor General of Nigeria. So on January 1st, 1914, the Northern Protectorate and the Colony and Protectorate of Southern Nigeria was merged together to form what is now called Nigeria. So, but as at then it was called the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria. So it was Lord Lugard that brought together the Southern Protectorate and Northern Protectorate to form Nigeria, and so we had a country. The amalgamation of 1914 brought Nigeria together for the first time as the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria. The advent of earlier colonial administration in Nigeria led to the development and introduction of different and various constitutions before the country finally gained independence in 1960. So the advent of colonial administration was what led to the development and introduction of constitutions, of different and various constitutions in Nigeria before we finally got our independence in 1960. So the first, this is really not like a constitution, but it's like something that looks like a constitution. So we had the Nigerian Council of 1914. The Nigerian Council of 1914, Sir Lugard became the first Governor General of Nigeria in 1914 after the successful amalgamation of the Northern and the Southern Protectorate. He proceeded to institute the Nigerian Council, which then served as the base on which Nigerian pre-independence constitution originated. The council laid the foundation on which constitutional development started in Nigeria. So it was the Nigerian Council of 1914 that laid down the foundations for which constitutional development started in Nigeria. The council comprised of 36 members. Out of the 36 members, 24 members were official members and 12 members were unofficial members. The non-official members comprised 6 Europeans. So we had 6 Europeans amongst the non-official members, and these 6 Europeans, they represented the key sectors of the economy, such as banking, mining, commerce, and shipping, and many more. And the other 6 Nigerians, we are talking about the non-official council now, and we said there were 12 non-official members in the council. So out of the 12 unofficial members, 6 of them were Europeans, and these Europeans, they occupied, they were the ones that represented the key sectors of the Nigerian economy then. And then the 6 other members of the non-official members of the council were Nigerians, and they were, out of the 6 members, we had the Alaafin of Oyo, the Sultan of Sokoto, we had Chief Dogo, we had the Emir of Kano, and 1 member each from Lagos and Calabar. The Nigerian Council had no power of legislation nor of finance, but they only served as an advisory subject to the Executive Council in any public matter. So the Nigerian Council, they had no power of legislation. They could not pass bills into law. They could only advise the governor on decisions and issues, and the governor then had veto power to dismiss the suggestions of the council or accept it. He had veto power. So the Nigerian Council of 1914 had no power of legislation nor of finance, and they only served as advisory subjects to the Executive Council in any public matter. And with this, we've come to the end of this class. In the course of this class, we did a brief introduction to what a constitution is. We looked at constitutional developments in Nigeria, and then we looked at an introduction to how constitutional development started in Nigeria. In the next class, we'll be looking at the Nigerian Congress of British West Africa, and I'll see you at the next class.